Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It does help me out a lot, especially with the algorithms on YouTube. But also it helps me to channel into your energy as well, because you are helping me to create this reading to give you insights into what is going on for you right now. So I've noticed people have been enjoying the archetype readings that I've been doing lately. So I'm going to do another archetype reading. This will be based around your energy. I'm not going to do this on anybody else, just you. So if the information that comes through as the who I'm talking about, if that resonates with you, then this is definitely your reading, okay? Now, if it doesn't resonate with you, but it sounds like somebody that you know or that you are asking about maybe, then you might want to stick around, because it could be in line with what you want to know, but not necessarily about you, if that makes sense. So let's get on with the reading. Let's pick your archetypes first of all. So as before, I will pick 4 of these cards that will give us an idea of a personality type, and we'll see what they say. That's interesting. These actually came out the other day. So we've got child orphan, which is the light attributes is independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of survival. Shadow attributes is feeling of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So this could be someone that maybe, you know, perhaps you spent a lot of time alone as a child. Maybe you didn't have a lot of interaction with your parents, that perhaps they were out working or doing their own thing, and you felt a little bit like you didn't really have anybody that kind of connected with you in your world. So maybe as an adult, you've got used to just sort of not really expressing your feelings and going it alone, maybe trying to put on a brave face when really you wanted to express yourself. So I may be talking to somebody here that's possibly had a very closed throat chakra through their childhood, through their life. And I feel like this particular person, whoever you are, you might be just gaining that voice back now. Maybe you've done a lot of work around, you know, wounds from childhood. Maybe you've started to recognise where actually, you know, I need to work on standing in my power, speaking my voice. I do have an opinion and it is valid. So it's basically being validated for how you're feeling about things. Now, we've also got child nature, and I love this one. Friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. Shadow attributes can be tendency to abuse animals, people and the environment. Now, I feel if you're the nature child, you do love animals, and you probably connect on a deeper level to animals and nature than you do with the human race. You possibly, because of feeling like you had to be quite independent as a child, you looked to nature and natural things for to keep you feeling good about yourself. So you are definitely somebody that loves animals. If you don't already own a pet, then I'm surprised about that. You possibly do already have a dog or a cat, or maybe you've got a menagerie of different animals going on there. And you do have a real deep connection with nature. Perhaps you spend a lot of time outdoors. You understand a lot of things about nature. Maybe you are practicing right now in herbalism and wanting to understand more about nature, perhaps growing your own plants, that kind of thing. Wherever you are, you want to bring the outdoors in, that kind of energy I'm getting from this person here, this childlike person. And you are also the seeker. So this is a thirst for wisdom and truth wherever you are. And the shadow attribute is inability to commit to a path once found. So somebody that's, you know, you're always looking out for new information, looking at things that you can understand better, always looking for that truth, you know, but I feel like you're not afraid to hear other sides of stories or gain a deeper understanding of things as you move through that. You know, you like to hear stories, you like to listen to people and gain an understanding, gain more knowledge, more wisdom. So let's see what else we have coming through from here. So if that kind of sounds like the type of person that you might be, or it sounds like your person, the person that you might be watching tarot cards wanting to know about, then stick around. Let's see what else we have coming through on here. What is the fourth and final card? I'm going to pick it out manually, I think. Gossip. Wow. Didn't even know this one was in the pack, if I'm quite honest. So the light attributes of a gossip: awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honouring trust. So you might be the kind of person that people come to talk about things, or maybe to gossip about somebody else, and you kind of maybe get them to look at other perspectives. Shadow attributes is thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information and betraying confidences. So you may have been put in situations before, especially as a child, I feel, where you've been led into a situation about gossiping about people. And you may have said things that you didn't really mean in those situations, you know, like, oh yeah, such and such, blah, blah, blah. And then you walk away thinking like, why did I say that about that person? Didn't really feel or think that. This feels very much like an energy. I recognise this as, for me personally, when you are a child and you kind of like, you led into those situations, in a way they feel comfortable, don't they? Because it's like, oh, I've got a connection with this person, we can talk about this person whilst I'm with this person. But then you kind of realise, actually, I don't like that. So then when you get your voice back, when you start to realise, like, this orphan child, this sort of independent person here starts to recognise, actually, I do have opinions and they are valid, and I can speak my truth without fear of being, you know, my opinion not being right. You can then sort of say to yourself, right, okay, well, if I've spoken something to another person about this person, maybe I should go and talk to this person and just say exactly what I've said. So then it kind of like just irons out the creases a little bit. It means there's no elephant in the room. Nobody feels like they're being talked about. I like doing that as an adult. It's sort of like, if I'm going to say something to somebody about somebody else, I'll make sure I've told that actual person, so that there isn't any gossip. There isn't any sort of like, I'm not holding then on to like, oh, I've basically been saying something about this person and I haven't said it to their face. Do you know what I mean? So there is an energy of that. I feel like you are very aware of that in your energy at the moment, and maybe you were a gossip before, but now you're starting to be more aware of like, what I say, am I willing to say that to that person? And that's a good attribute to have. So you do feel like quite a wise one, quite a wise, nature-based person who perhaps has had some childhood wounding, but that's actually created quite an independent person. But I feel where your energy is right now is about learning a lot of ways of releasing those wounds from the past, in terms of getting your voice back, feeling validated for the things that you've felt. You're softening into, you know, the more you seek, the more knowledge you gain about life, about truth and different things. It's actually helping you to access your own inner truth. It's helping you to understand yourself at a deeper level. And I also would say it's actually creating opportunities for you to be in the arena with that. It's giving you opportunities to actually like, right, you've learnt this, now let's integrate it and actually put it into practice. How are you doing with that? Do let me know. So let's get your runes out on here. I'm very clappy today. I don't know why I keep clapping. You're like, right, come on, and you clap. I don't know why I'm doing that today. Maybe you like to do that. Perhaps you're very much like a action stations type of person. Let me just have a look what we have. Oh, Hagala. So yes, you're definitely in a state of, you've done a lot of contemplation. You've kind of been in an energy of sitting within something. And now you're kind of on the verge of actually stepping out to make a sudden change. Or change has found you and it's thrown you into contemplation, where you're sort of like, okay, I'm starting to see things from a different perspective now, especially with that gossip card. I do feel perhaps you've said something or felt like you've said something here, and actually that wasn't how you really felt. So you kind of like are feeling like, I really need to make a change on that. I need to do something about that. Let's see. And you're recognizing a lot of the traits and things that you've had. It has come from your childhood wounding. It's come from just like going with the things that you thought you had to do. It's kind of thrown you into a bit of a protective, or maybe an overprotective energy as well, of sort of like, you know, trying to understand yourself better. You do feel a drive or a need to take action, but at the same time, you don't want to create any battles. You're trying to find peace. You're trying to look for peace within your life in here. But you know that there is an element of wanting to put something right. And maybe that's what you're seeking on there. You're seeking a way to sort of, you know, commit to a path. Like you sort of, you know, I feel like this is me now and I want to stay on this path. But something keeps pulling you back over here and you're sort of like a little bit all over the place, where this is now sort of like, right, the sudden change here, the contemplation you're going through and the desire to take action on it is all about like, I need to stop allowing myself to be part of battles and just find my peace within the battles that find me. Yeah, there's a lot to do with speaking your truth around this as well. Okay, yeah, so you're making that your intention. You are definitely manifesting a different version of yourself. It's like you are elevating into a newer version of yourself. One that you're probably struggling to recognise yourself within it, but also I feel like the people around you are struggling to recognise you as well. So there may be gossip about you going on, which you know there is, because the people that you are surrounded by, you know they gossip because you've been gossiping with them in the past. So you know that they're gossiping about you. But do you really need to be bothered about that? Does it really matter that they're gossiping about you? And if people don't have the ability to come and say to your face what they're saying behind your back, then do they have really any value in your life? So Willow is kind of like, follow your intention, be led by it. You are manifesting this for yourself, and there is a lot of joy in the path that you have chosen. There's a warmth to it. There is a feeling of like a warm blanket around your shoulders, or like, you know, in that sun, like I've had that today, like the spring sun on your face. The first moments of that spring sun on your face is just like a feeling of like contentment almost. It's like, this feels good, and it's so simple, it's so easy. And I do feel that's the type of energy that you're in right now. It's sort of like, you know, what's that lyric? There's a lyric, it's a Blur song, I think, where it's sort of like, the more I know, no, hang on, what is it? The more I learn, the less I know. And basically it's saying, you know, it's sort of like, you kind of come back round to a very simplistic way of feeling, of being, don't you? Because it's like, you know, you can learn so much stuff, but then actually it's a lot of it's undoing things that you thought you knew, but that don't really resonate with you anymore. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to pick we're going to work with the Llewellyn cards today, with the Welsh cards. So let me see what Tarot is telling us. So what is your current situation around this right now? Okay, half the blooming pack fell out there. And Thor has stood on its end. Not sure what that means. You are really ready to take action. There was a lot that came out on action on there. I did have a little sneaky peek of, I think it might have been the Five of Wands. So that can be about conflict. I do feel for many of you, you're struggling to separate yourself from the opinions of others in your life. That could be family members or friends around you. It could even be your partner if you're in a relationship. I just saw 1414 on the clock there as well, if that resonates with anybody. Yeah, so there is, look, feels like there's struggles around this, but what is your current situation that you as this person are asking about? What is your current, okay. So we have, your current situation is interesting because we've got the Star. Now, I'm not sure if that fell out upside down or not, so I'm going to talk about both of it. So the Star is like a wish fulfillment. It's like, you know, you can manifest what you want, and you've got Sir Willow there as your energy. as what you are what you are moving towards. Okay, so the sudden changes, a need for action, but also that kind of like, you know, just being ready for defending yourself in situations. That did seem to feel like that defensive energy, because I saw the 5 of Wands on the bottom there. But there's this energy of, there is a real calling that you are putting out there, something that you want to manifest, this intention that you've got. But you're having some doubts. You're feeling a little bit like there is no hope. Like, you know, not very hopeful of the outcome of things is what I'm feeling from there. And also because we've got the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position as well. So you feeling not very peaceful at the moment, and that's what you really want. And that's what Thoras as is kind of saying on there. It's like there's a need for finding your peace within the conflicts that are going on around you at this time. Yeah, it's really important that you understand this is your life, and other people may have opinions. It looks like through your life people have definitely had opinions about you, or you've heard them have opinions about other people and what they should be doing or shouldn't be doing. And you're trying to separate yourself from that now, but I'm feeling like it's not very easy. It's like an elastic band that's kind of like trying to pull you back in all the time. So something in your energy is creating that for you, and it is stopping you from moving towards your intention. So what is the challenge then to do with this? What is this challenge? Let's see. What is the challenge for you right now? I'm going to put those 2 back. The challenge, the King of Wands. Yeah, the challenge is that you're not feeling, so this was in the reverse position, you're not feeling very confident. You're feeling a little bit like you've lost your, lost a little bit of desire over a particular situation. So this situation that's going on here, your current situation, which is kind of like not feeling very hopeful and not feeling at peace, is also showing up as like that is affecting your confidence. So the challenge here is you finding that confidence, finding your ability to be the leader of your own life and move in the direction that you want to go in. I do feel you've had a knock to your confidence recently over a particular situation that's on your mind right now. But all is not lost, because in the back of your mind, you know that you can triumph over this. You know that you've got the ability to do that. So let's see now, what should you be focusing on? Seven of Swords. Okay, so what you need to focus on right now is about being aware of what's in your energy, the people that are around you. You need to focus on who is maybe trying to deceive you, where that cunning energy is, where there's an energy of somebody sort of has the potential to kind of betray you in a way, like, or allow you to pick up all the pieces and then tell you it's your fault. It's that kind of energy that I'm getting from this. There's somebody in your energy that seems to be like that, that they're asking you to focus on what's going on, like really see it clearly, what's happening for you, you know? Like you look at the picture and there's that man carrying all of those swords, and there's that kid behind him with the sword that, I mean, looks like he could potentially, like, he's thinking about, well, should I stab him with it or should I just take it? And this guy doesn't even notice those swords are left behind. So it's like a little bit of an energy of your vulnerability around particular energies that have the potential to take advantage of you or have an advantage over you. Now, sometimes this card can come out as like the focus being you having an advantage over others and walking away with like, I've got what I've got from this. So take that how it resonates. There's 2 different ways of looking at that. I'm going to see what you're leaving behind. Oh, that doesn't work out very well, does it? Oh, God. I felt like my fingers weren't even my own then. So what are you leaving behind at this particular time? What do you need to leave behind? Okay. So the Eight of Wands is usually about getting a conclusion on something. So it's like, I think that's what you need to leave behind on here, is trying to sort of wrap something up in terms of getting some news on it, getting some information on it. So this is what you're being asked. This is like coming from the past energy of, it does feel like something here maybe separated you in a situation where you felt like you needed to gain a conclusion on it, or, you know, gain, what's the word? Closure, that kind of thing, around this particular situation. And you haven't managed to get it for whatever reason. And that might be something about this gossip or not being able to get your voice. Like I say, I do feel maybe something happened there. Perhaps between you and some other people or another person. I feel like a group of people, and then one person stood on their own over there. And it's almost like you've been involved in this conversation about that person, but then realised actually what you were saying there isn't really what you were thinking or feeling. But you're being asked to leave in the past here, like a need to kind of gain any news on that, or get a conclusion on that, or kind of do anything about it. It's almost like a sort of, you know, what's in the past, to try and leave it in the past. I mean, the Eight of Wands can represent like a fast energy, like quick action, that kind of thing. So it does feel like there has been a situation that's been a very quick turnaround for you, a real sudden change that's occurred there. But it's asking you to leave this in the past. It's almost like a kind of, you know, don't be hasty going in and taking a quick action on this. It needs to go slowly. It needs to be progressive. That's what I'm feeling, because of this kind of like you're not feeling very confident about it. We have the Emperor on the bottom as well, which is somebody who's stood in their power. This is someone that is, you know, realising actually there is an opportunity here to be powerful, and it's almost like a level up. So you have got an opportunity coming up that's going to allow you to gain that confidence back and feel like you're stood in your power. It's just right now you're kind of stood in this space of having to be a bit defensive, but you know what your intention is, what you're moving towards. So what are your strengths in this situation? What is your strength here? Okay, so your strength is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is an energy of somebody that kind of has something to offer. And you may not feel like you've got a lot to offer, but what you do have is relevant. And you are moving in that direction of making a small offer here, in a situation. Your strengths also, I mean, this might be an offer coming towards you, or your offer being accepted, that kind of thing. But again, the Knight of Pentacles is a slow moving energy. It's not somebody that moves very quickly. It's got a real secure and safe energy to it. So it's like your strength is to move forwards in a way that is like a new venture, but it's a slow and steady and secure venture. And I feel like that's what your intention is actually, is like you're trying to sort of let go of past karmic things and move into more of a soul purpose. That's what I'm getting from that. So that's your strengths. What's in your future? See what your future holds. Whoa, we've got another knight. We've got the Knight of Swords and the Two of Cups. Wow. Okay, so incoming, your future actually seems to hold a union. So the Knight of Swords is somebody that's kind of had an aha moment, and there is a need for communication. And I feel like this communication is between yourself and somebody else. So this feels like a new relationship, like a union, a love commitment kind of thing. That, yeah, that's shown as your future. So it's like all of this stuff that you've been working on yourself from your childhood wounding, and, you know, letting go of this. Maybe the gossip kind of thing was kind of about this person, and you're recognizing now as sort of like, you know, well, actually I want to put things right, but you can't be too fast about that. It needs to be like a slower kind of energy, even though the Knight of Swords does want to move fast. It is quite a hasty, like, I've made a decision. So it feels like this future position is you have made a decision about this connection, about this union. Okay, so that's your future energy. That's quite lovely, actually. So what advice do we have for you on that? What is your advice? Well, you've already had plenty of advice so far, but what is your advice about this? What advice can we give you? No way. I have no idea what that was. Your advice is the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands. Now, I just felt something move over there just as this fell out. So it's almost like there has been a shift in energy, and I'm getting this pain now in the back of my head. It's almost like somebody is sort of being, I feel like, craning their neck to see into the future a little bit deeper. And what you have seen is the potential for a deeper commitment, something that is very stable and has a foundation to it. Your advice is basically to celebrate this. That's the advice, is celebrate what you're moving towards, because it does feel very good for you. It feels very nice. It feels like something that is very grounded, solid. If you've been seeing a lot of angel numbers as well, so when I say angel numbers, like you're seeing a lot of repeated number patterns. So the Four of Wands usually represents like 1111. So if you've been seeing a lot of that around lately, it might be on car registrations, it could be on the time, like 1111, that sort of thing. There may be other numbers as well, but it's usually 1111 that is relevant to you. That kind of can be a signal of this sort of energy, you know, something coming in, of a new beginning. And it does feel very much like, with the Two of Cups there and then the Four of Wands here, there is this union, a celebration, something to celebrate. And that's your advice, is celebrate this. Go and celebrate it. So what's in your environment right now? What about your environment? Let's see your environment. What is this person's environment right now? Okay, so there is a need again to be patient and to take your time over this. There is a purpose, and it's all within divine timing. You've started to, I feel, realise what's going on here. You recognise what needs to happen, but you are being asked to take your time with it. Be patient, keep working on yourself, keep working on these things that you are working on with your throat chakra, with that communication and how you communicate, and watching out for that sort of gossipy energies. It's like, I feel like you're stepping back away from people that are doing that, or you're starting to stand in your power and actually be, I'm going to just speak my truth rather than allowing myself to be led into conversations that I don't want to have. Okay, so again, it's that patience. What are your hopes and fears? What hopes and fears do we have? Okay, that's actually quite spot on, really. These two cards that have come out. So I'd say your hopes are for this collaboration. Your hopes are for this union, this commitment of things being together. And it's also feeling like a friendship. So this might be actually with somebody that you are just friends with at the moment and you would like more with. You know, perhaps you've been friends for a little while now. The Seven of Wands is kind of like you are sort of feeling very protective over this, feeling like you need to defend it in some way. And maybe in the past you haven't really defended this person or this connection, and that's why you're feeling like, now actually I really need to stand in my power a bit more and be more confident with the way forward that I want to go, with the intention that I've got. You know, don't allow your confidence to be squashed in this because of other people's opinions or the things that they are gossiping about and saying. I do feel that around the full moon, as we have that coming up, things are going to start to be illuminated. You know, things are going to start to come out about this. Maybe people are starting to notice you too already and starting to feel like, yeah, you know, there's something going on there. There's something that seems to be happening. Maybe you've got friendship groups you both are around at the moment together. Or people are noticing what things that you're saying now. You're changing what you're saying about this person. So they might be starting to clock on and cotton on to like, oh, okay, well, you've changed your tune a little bit. So I do feel like that is what's going on with your hopes and fears. And maybe there's a fear element there of like defending this person from what has been said, like you don't want them to find out. Let's see what your outcome is then on here. What is the overall outcome of this? What was that? That was the Emperor that came out on there. So that could be, again, he's come out twice, hasn't he? So that's that divine masculine energy of someone that's really stood in their power, knows what they want. Okay, so the King of Cups is your outcome. This is all about love, support, especially emotional intelligence. You, I feel, are somebody that is growing in your emotional intelligence. You're starting to understand the importance of that emotional balance and being supportive and feeling the love, basically. It's like you've really started to open up your heart. You're allowing yourself to be seen. And that's really quite a beautiful energy, actually. There may be an element of, at times, you are suppressing your feelings or suppressing those emotions, just purely because, you know, like we said with the child orphan before, because you had to when you were a child. But now you're starting to recognise, well, I don't need to do that, because actually I am feeling like the love and the support around this union, around this situation. But there is no need to move fast with it. It's just allowing it to unfold organically by the look of it and taking it slow. And that's what your advice was, wasn't it? Is to take things at a slow pace. Just have patience, that temperance card. Yeah. I do feel like that is a place to stay now with this reading. So if this resonated with you and you would like to look at this deeper as your own personal reading, then please do get in touch. My details are in the description box down below. Other than that, I wish you a blessed evening.